We're glad to have you back. I still have the Director General of the Nigerian Employers Consultative Association, Mr. Adewale Oyerinde, who's live in the studio. So you were making a point for those that have left already. What are you making, talking about companies that have left Nigeria?
Well, it's quite unfortunate that those that left, they couldn't weather the storm. And we are hoping that as the economy continues to improve and government continue to bring in policies and programs that will make organized businesses to be sustainable and also competitive, hopefully those businesses will come back. Now, we are talking about the risk or the main issue about those that are leaving. You know, if you mention 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 businesses that have left, there's a dangerous blind spot. Let's take a business like NAMPAC that have left. Or let's pick a multinational leaving your environment. You probably will, your blind spot is that there are many other businesses in that value chain that are supplying that business's input. So those businesses that will have left, you run the risk of every other business along that value chain that are supplying inputs to those businesses, you run the risk of also losing them. So when you count 10,000 employees from NAMPAC leaving or XYZ company leaving, the blind spot is that the other companies that are not in the forefront, that are supplying inputs to this particular organization, they also run the risk of shutting down.
True.
So we look at the front line, that look at 5 companies have left, and 5 might just be a reasonable number to you, or to those in government, but it's a crisis for us in the private sector. It's crisis for the unemployment rate. It's crisis for issue of insecurity. Because if those guys should leave, 10,000 young persons losing their jobs, then where are they going? So it's a multifaceted challenge that government must take a critical look at. Beyond the ones that have been identified, what happens to the whole value chain of that industry? Those businesses supplying those big ones inputs, the employees of those ones that are supplying those ones, what happens to them? Who is accounting for them? So it exacerbates the issue of insecurity and also the issue of revenue for government. So it's less of the biblical book. The Bible said, the shepherd will rather go for one sheep that is missing. You go and look for it. And that is the attitude that we want government to take. A business shutting down, it's not just one business shutting down. There are thousands of employees that will lose their jobs. There are households that their capacity to meet their basic needs would have been compromised. And there is big risk of insecurity. So why do we continue to feed the cause and complain about the effect? Why do we continue to complain about insecurity? And the things that are fueling insecurity, we keep fueling them. It's quite hard to believe.
Well, finally, I'm still going to ask for that outlook. What are your members? What is happening? What is everybody saying at this time, considering these challenges? Fiscal dilemma is all over there. High inflation, low revenue, and all of that. So what is the outlook? I'm just thinking.
High exchange rates, increasing stock, it's quite challenging. It's
because people are not buying as expected.
It's quite challenging, and we must really commend the organized private sector for its resilience. Hardly will you find a business in Nigeria that is not struggling. And that's why we say whatever intervention the government is bringing, the 75 billion grant they want to give, investment in infrastructure. That the time to kickstart the implementation of those policies is now, so that we don't lose more businesses and continue to exacerbate the issue of insecurity and the issue of high unemployment rate in this country. But I must confess, and let's give kudos to organized businesses and those that are still hanging on.
DJ, I must thank you. It's always nice having you start the week with us on the show. I've been speaking to the Director General of Nigeria's Employers Consultative Association, Adewale Oyerinde. A lot to talk about Nigerian economy. I know this is our time. Cannot allow us to do that. But I must thank you so much again for your time.
Always for having us.
Coming up on the show.